You're building the empire
and we'll help you protect it.
because even the most powerful women
Still have trust issues.
Welcome back to another episode offering of Trust Issues.
Yes.
I'm one of your hosts, Erica Hall of Wealth Advisors.
And I'm your co-host, Urenia Ricks-Johnson of Ricks & Associates, PLLC.
PLLC. You know what? This is the podcast where we focus on helping you protect the empire. You spend so much time building up, or you've been focused on building your empire. You're an expert at what you do. We want to help you protect it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's our goal.
Yeah. You know, I know we talk to women. I had a guy ask me the other day, and he said, how come y'all not focusing on men?
Okay. I mean, these are applicable principles
To everybody.
to everybody.
Yes.
You know, our audience primarily has been women, but these, like I said, the principles, the things that we're discussing, you know, especially
can
even now,
implement them
even
too.
what we're talking about today and what we've been talking about can be implemented to male or female. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. But it's just more, it's just more, I think it's in our wheelhouse to be with our sisters because
Sisters, right?
yeah, they're always, because they're just always making moves. They're just doing so many great things,
Right.
and that's what helped us to get started. We were sitting around talking about some things that we want to do, and here we are. So this is so ladies.
Ladies.
When women get real about money, your mindset, and protecting what matters, we are your dream team.
Yes.
Today we're gonna talk some more about breaking the big bill. Not calling it beautiful.
We're not calling it beautiful. Big bill down. And we're going to talk about power, property, and protection.
Oh yeah, this is your stuff.
Yes. And this is, you see my...
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
You know, because the bill provides for different things. A lot of times when I'm advising clients on estate planning and what they need to do with their plan, the main thing that they're asking me is, will my estate be taxed?
Yeah.
Will I incur taxes if I have a certain amount in my estate at the time of death? What will happen? Will that be taxed? So if I have $2 million, is that going to be taxed before it gets to my heirs? Or will I not have an inheritance tax? And, you know, so under this new bill,
Yeah.
you know, every year or provided for in most bills are provisions within the tax code, the federal tax code, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of times it covers the estate tax, and each year or each time something is passed in the tax code, they address the estate tax.
Oh, big
which
time.
is the tax at time of death,
Yeah.
right? And so
The death tax.
The death tax. So what's important in this bill is that every year normally, or every time they pass something, they usually up the tax threshold.
Oh, take it up. Okay.
Take it up.
Because make people making more money.
Make people making more money, so they take it up. But what's important in this bill is to understand that now they are trying to they will lock in that tax code amount.
It's permanent,
It's
right?
permanent, as opposed to, you know, so given with, it has a caveat in there that says given inflation. So it may
Yeah.
be able to be flexible. Well, right now they're saying that they're going to try to cap it or keep it at that. Right now it's 13.99 million. So if your estate individually, if your estate is over 13.99 million, or as a married couple 27.98, then if anything below that, you don't incur an inheritance tax or
Okay.
a tax. So if you pass away with $2 million in your estate, then that $2 million will go directly to your heirs or your distributees or whoever you designate to receive those funds.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
But if it's over that amount, then you are subject to an inheritance tax.
Right.
Which means that your that estate will be taxed first, and then your heirs will receive the remaining part of it. But the reason why the cap is so important is because they are going to raise it to $15 million per individual and $30 million for for a married couple. But if you have an estate plan that you planned a long time ago based on the tax bill expanded every year and giving you that inflation amount, because a lot of times I tell clients, because we don't never know. We know when we were born, but we never know where we're going to leave here, right?
Right.
So if you're doing an estate plan and you're right at that threshold and you have those limits that are right there, you may want to consider doing some gifts. You may want to consider doing some type of distribution. And in our last episode, we talked about the distribution within that Roth IRA. We may want to do some distribution because we're more at this time now, we're more in control because we have a Roth IRA set up.
Yeah, you're doing some planning.
You're doing some planning right now. So if you have...
How realistic, though? How realistic? I don't know if you see me over here trying to think like 13 million. Am I going to get there? How realistic is that number for a lot of us?
A lot of times it's not. But if you think about it over time, if your plan is to actually save over a period of time, you may not be there now, but if you think about what you make over a yearly basis, and if you're saving those funds over a year, and those funds start to add up, especially when we're talking about retirement, and you're talking about, I'm living off of that retirement that I have there, and I want to be able to live off of that. That could be very important.
And it just doesn't include my accounts.
It includes all of your assets.
So
your
properties,
home, your property,
my business,
everything together. So when they look at this inheritance tax, they look at everything together. You may say, well, I don't have that amount in the bank, but you may have other assets. You may have other real estate. You may have rental properties. You may have just things that you've accumulated over time. They look at all of that to see and assess whether your estate is over that amount.
Yeah.
And that's important for you to understand, why you would need to set up that estate plan and set it up correctly.
Okay.
So that way you can account for those things. Or if you're nearing those thresholds and you're getting those things, and that's why a lot of times even people that may get a windfall or may receive some type of inheritance that they may receive, and then now they're in that tax bracket. It'll take long to maybe get there, or it may take long to get there, but you want to make sure that you're protecting that if you are there.
I understand. I hope and pray that I do find myself in that having that problem.
Yes.
Having that issue, because when you talk about the permanency of it, because typically or always in the past they've always had sunset provisions where they would go away, and so now they have passed this bill to where it's a permanent
thing. So you have to start thinking about that in your planning, in those type of things. And also, I tell my clients to think about it from the planning perspective as well, as now you can start giving, if you think you're getting close to that, or you just don't want to even deal with that, you can start giving gifts to your family members,
moving them
individuals.
Out of your estate.
And we already talked about, even from the standpoint of, it doesn't even necessarily have to be a family business, but it could be a family business, or it could be an investment in your grandchild's future that you're giving, but you don't have to worry about those things being a taxable moment at that time, because you're actually giving it through your trust or giving it during your lifetime to avoid those taxation moments.
Right. Okay. So this is where you would, we kind of talked about this before, where you would have a irrevocable trust.
Yes.
Put it in something that, since you can't change it, then the government looks at it, or the IRS
irrevocable.
looks at it.
Yes. So if you have it on in an irrevocable, if you are within those tax guidelines where your estate is over the $15 million, then you don't have to worry about even the taxation. You would still be exempt from that.
Yeah.
Because of the fact you have it in an irrevocable trust. So if you have those guidelines where you say, regardless of the fact that I'm going to give to my kids for their lifetime $5,000 a year or $5,000 a month or something like that, those things can't be revoked. It's just a continual thing, because the goal is to get your estate under the taxation moment.
Yeah. Okay.
So these are good. Good windows, but it's just to be made aware of those from planning purposes. As I stated, estate planning is so important because we never know where we're going. We never know as far as we can plan for it. Yeah. But if we hit those windfalls, and now your estate is over a certain amount, and now you're subject to that, and God forbid something that happens to you, then you have a taxable moment.
Yeah. That's good because even just ending up in probate is not ideal.
Yeah.
And I don't care what the estate is worth, and but not planning ahead can be a burden, and then they get a percentage of there's a fee.
Yeah, so with most of the time with the probate court they do the fee is normally there's filing fees involved, and then there's normally close to 1% of the estate proceeds value goes to the probate court.
Yeah.
So that's a fee. But
Wait,
if you
how
have
much?
1%, close to 1%.
Okay.
But if you think about it from the standpoint, if you have a trust set up, you don't even have to deal with the probate court, and it's not public record as well.
Yeah.
These are things that you can have intimate documents between your family that you have that keeps going on and on. I tell people all the time, you have people that have been living off of trust funds. You think now, even the Ford family now, you think that they're living off of funds that they accumulated? No. They are living off the funds from generation before them that allows them to live the type of life that they live.
Yes. Girl, I went to go visit that estate, the Ford house. Have you ever toured the Ford house?
Isn't it beautiful?
Beautiful.
But these are the things that they had in mind, even when it comes to because you know that their estate is over this amount. So they are doing some tax planning with what they have in order to make sure that they provide those gifts. That's the reason why they have those foundations.
Yeah.
Because right now, based on this tax code, they know that they're going to have to give out some more money because of the fact that their estate can't be over a certain amount. Because God forbid, as we talked about, we want to avoid taxation of the estate at any point in time because we never know.
Yeah. Yeah. Charitable contributions or charitable distributions, charitable giving.
Charitable giving is a lot of times based on that donors where they're at in their tax bracket. Is determining how much they're giving and when they're giving it.
So they set this up though, so that in foundations they give away funds on a regular basis. This is something that they know they're going to do.
Yes, and it's all based on when you see charitable giving, you see that's based on these concepts and based on the fact that their estate, the estate of these companies, these individuals, they want to make sure that they maximize under the tax code.
Yeah, so y'all hear that? This is kind of off the subject, but for those of you who are out there, need to position yourself for these foundational grants.
Yes, because they're out there.
Forced, not forced, but they plan to give away so much money every year.
Yes.
All right, so good. That's good. So I mean, but it also pertains. What about life insurance? Life insurance is included in the estate?
No, life insurance is considered outside of the estate.
Okay.
So when it comes to estate tax. When you look at a estate tax overall, because it's a direct distribution,
right?
It can go directly to that beneficiary. So it wouldn't incur any taxes.
So the life insurance policy that I have could be outside the estate unless I name the trust.
Unless you name the trust, and then it would be considered in it. But if you have life insurance, like I said, those are direct distributions. But if you have a 401k IRA, those are considered assets during your lifetime that you've accumulated.
Yeah.
As opposed to a life insurance policy, that is not an asset that you have accumulated per se. It is an asset based upon death.
That's good to know. Because even in with the new tax brackets or what I'm looking for, or the estate planning threshold, I guess that helps us when it comes to whether or not we want to do and you can talk to me about this, a single trust or a marital trust, AB trust. You know, how do those play a part?
So, of course, the single, as has stated, is just one person and their assets are being distributed directly through the trust. We have a married trust, it's a companion type of thing.
Okay.
Where the assets are pulled together, and then based on the married couple's desires, wishes, then the assets are distributed based on that. AB trust is more of a business.
AB trust. Okay.
It's more of a business type of dealing where they're still compatible, but they may not be a married couple, but it's just that these two trusts are working together. It could be business ventures. that the owners are trying to make sure that they
Ding,
do
ding, ding. Hello.
different ventures together, and they set up
Yes.
an AB trust in order to protect their assets
Mm-hmm.
and protect their individual assets and have that shell, because a trust acts as a shell type of thing connected to distribution.
Okay, the entity. It's the entity
It's
itself.
a separate entity or shell, yes.
So okay, so I've worked with the AB trust
Mm-hmm.
sometime in the past, and I just remember that the husband and wife had he had his own trust, she had a separate trust,
Mm-hmm.
and when he passed away, his assets got absorbed into her
trust.
Her
Mhm.
trust.
So,
Some of
so
it
her
got
trust was the beneficiary of his
the A trust. She
of
was
his
the B
trust.
trust.
But she became the trustee and the beneficiary of the trust. Her trust became the trustee and the beneficiary of his
trust.
Of his trust.
Yeah,
Yes.
some of the distributions, the majority of the distributions went into her trust, but then some of it went to start a foundation
Mm-hmm.
for the family, and they purchased a wing or renovated a wing at some organization, and then some of the trust went into or created a generation skipping trust or something like that.
Yes, so
for
where you
the
can-
grandchildren.
And then, like I said, the generation skipping, that's very popular as well. And like I talked about, even with the Ford family, some of their foundations, some of their distribution is based on that.
Yeah,
Because you can
future
give
generations.
you can give future so you can keep on going, and that's what the documents are designed. It's designed to leave a legacy.
Yeah.
Designed to have those things go. And there's triggering moments that we talk about. That's the reason why funding of the trust is so important. So the
Triggering moments.
Triggering
After-
moments are, life insurance if somebody passes away, this disability of someone, or if your estate reaches a certain amount and you need to do a distribution.
Yeah.
During your lifetime, you want to distribute some things. So those are triggering moments that happen within the trust, but the design of it is to keep going from generation to generation.
Oh, now it's coming back to me.
It's supposed to keep going.
So I remember this moment or these instances where, what do you call them? Crummy powers. So the grandchildren, not the children, the grandchildren were like 8, 9, 10 years old. And so we used to have to bring the children in. They would come in and we had to share what do you call it? The crummy powers?
Yeah.
And share that with them.
Are you talking about
the crummy powers had to do something with notifying them of a distribution that was taking place that year, and the funds were being put into something on their behalf.
Yeah.
Where they
so it would be like a some type of entity that's created in order for them to be able to benefit from the proceeds of the trust. So you set someone over that, because they can't receive funds. Nobody can receive funds if they're under 18,
minors, right?
They're minors. So the purpose of that is to have someone to oversee it, or to have some type of authority over that. Because if you don't, then guess where you have to go?
Court.
To the probate court. Right? Because that's unfortunately, that's a situation that happens all the time, because we don't plan, especially if you have minor children, just thinking, okay, I could do the estate plan later. But if you have minor children, that's all the more reason why a trust is important for you, because if you leave any property to minor children, then it has to go to the probate court for the court to set a guardian or conservator over those funds. So a guardian over the children if you don't have provisions for the children, conservator over the money.
Yeah.
And that's a court-appointed person that's more financially trying to figure those things out. And guess what? It's not automatic that it's the spouse if you're married.
Right.
It's not automatic.
Yeah.
Because it
wasn't even the family. It was like a law firm.
Yes, that's what
a
I'm
law
saying.
firm
So,
was given the fiduciary.
Was given those fiduciary powers. And you can set up someone to be fiduciary over it, just to notify them, and they keep it in trust or keep it in safekeeping. And if they may give it to the parent or somebody else for, okay, so you're entitled to a distribution for $1,000 a month based on the fact of the kids needing whatever they need for their
Right.
day-to-day expenses.
Right.
Because that could be provisions within the trust as well. But
Yeah, I think that's
but
what-
you're not putting that person actually over
it,
the
yeah.
trust overall. You got a company or a bigger entity that's actually managing all of those funds.
Right. And I think that was the whole point and essence of the generation skipping is that these individuals are able to benefit from it. They're able to benefit from it, but they're not able to direct the investments. Not while they're minors.
Yes.
And not until they are of a certain age. Then they'll have their portion that they get to direct, but not the entire trust.
Not
right.
the
And
entire
so that
trust,
helped to
yes.
protect it from if they got married, if they, whatever
Life,
ventures
exactly.
they get into won't affect the general family.
Yes, and
Generation
that's
skipping
why
trust.
it's so important to have those things because you know your family dynamic. I've seen so many times in court where now you have an independent third party, a judge, trying to decide what your family dynamic is,
Yeah.
what you intended,
Yeah.
what you wanted to have happen, when you wanted to have happen. You could be so specific to say that if anybody disputes it, they get $1.
Yeah.
You could be so specific to say, I want this and this is what I want it for.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or if they do this, then they don't get it.
Right. Yeah.
So you can make it as specific as you want it to be, but that's how it keeps going and going for and to create that legacy.
Yeah. We're talking about an estate, 13.9 million, 15 million, whatever that number may be, but the principle is the principle.
The principle is the principle. Yes.
The principle is the principle. And what I have come to realize at this big age,
Right.
this day and time, is that as I have, let me just talk about it personally, as I have accumulated more things, more stuff, more responsibility, more accounts, more investments. You know what I realized?
What you know?
You gotta manage
You gotta
all that stuff. You have to manage all that stuff. That not only means that I have to continuously be educated. I have to stay in
Stay ready.
school. I have to I gotta stay. I have to stay reading. I have to stay researching. I have to stay learning on how to on how to do it. But also I gotta have capacity. I gotta have the not only the wherewithal, but the energy to get up and look at the accounts, to get up and go to this training, this workshop, and learn the law, learn, what's in my account, why is this coming out of my, and manage all of these different things. And so the connection that I'm making to our talk today is what the principles that you are laying out is something that we can employ at our level.
Yes. And
no matter what level you are, it's the principle of managing your family.
And it's the principle of strategically, like you said, managing and strategically planning.
Yes.
And no matter what dollar amount you're planning for,
right.
Making sure that it's accounted for.
Yeah.
Making sure that you're notified, making sure that things are current on your plan, making sure that you are constantly updating and seeing what your family dynamic is, and does this still make sense?
Does it make sense? And even if you see that you have a family member, a minor child, or a child that's born into your family with some issues and
There's disability trust.
Disabilities or things that you see afar off, and you want to prepare for that. You can plan for that today. You can, and
because you see it, and you don't want, like I said, you don't want the court to have to get involved and decide the family dynamic.
Yeah, that's good. That's good, because even with so not something as extreme or something as tangible as a physical disability. It could be the capacity to strive and thrive in life.
True.
Right? And I always go back to this because this has always been my, just trying to understand life and the dynamics of it and all of that. And I realized that everybody, we look at fame and fortune and everybody wants it. Well, a lot of people want it.
Right.
A lot of people see it, they want it, but don't know what it takes to get it.
They have no idea.
But once you get it, you got to maintain it. That's a job in itself.
It's a job.
And so what wise people do, as Solomon says in the Word of God, says that you get wise counsel. You get wise advisors. Solomon was a king that God entrusted so many things and
he had
riches.
Wisdom. And he had wisdom enough
Yes.
to know that he needed
You can't
advisors.
do it all you can't do it by yourself. You need people. There are people who the legal license and degree and being an attorney, a registered an attorney in a state, understanding the state laws, like it is required on a regular basis that I'm speaking for you, that you have to stay educated, continuing education, keep your licenses in good order, and all the. I mean, tell me about it.
Renewal, all of those things, and making sure because the laws change, updating yourself, making sure that you are on top of the current law. Has it been overturned? Is it still current? Is it still good? Is it still applicable?
Yeah.
Will it work for your client? And with the changing of it, making sure that you are constantly being updated and well informed.
Yeah, constantly. Same here. And continuing education, and they and I say this jokingly, they pile it on every year.
Right.
More credit hours, more continuing education, and it's a good thing. It's a good thing for industry standard. But why? Because case in point, people will come and say, well, why am I doing this planning when they're just going to change? This is going to change, overturn, appeal. It's going to sunset anyway. We plan for what the law and the rules are today.
Yes.
Because we don't know. We have to be prudent. So what is our practice? We plan for how the laws have. This bill just passed, and it's going to take some time for it to permeate all the different areas. But it's been strategically set up to permeate every area of our lives, whether we are $15 million heirs, $100,000, whatever,
heirs, right?
Whatever it may be.
Are.
If you fall in that bracket where you don't even place on the tax bracket scale, it's still going to affect you.
If it's $1 or $1 million, it's still going to affect you.
Yeah, because you say if you have $1, you have
an estate.
Yeah,
and you need to plan.
Yeah.
For that. And I don't care if it's $1. I don't want to go to my state. I don't want it to go to the state of Michigan. I love Michigan, but I don't want it to go to the state of Michigan. So where is it going? If I don't designate it, then it's going to end up there.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think the great thing, my great takeaway from today is making sure that no matter what level I'm on, that I'm taking advantage of what the rules are, what the law is, what the tax code is, to plan on my level.
Yeah. And then plan for all the what ifs and understanding that these documents can be flexible. They need to be updated, and I need to update it as life changes. I need to update my documents.
That's good. So that means that I have to open my account statements. Check, call, because you may not remember. You got to call and say, who I got on my who's the beneficiary on this account. I checked an account the other day and saw who was my beneficiary, and I said, okay, I don't know what I was thinking when I did that, but I'm gonna keep it like that. But I check it.
But you check it,
yeah,
right.
It's different from my trust, right? I've named this beneficiary outside of my trust.
But then, does that beneficiary know?
Yes.
Okay, and see, that's important too.
Yes, I got to remind them.
Because you may think that it's within the trust, or it should be even if you don't remind that person, it should be where your trust documents are.
Yeah.
If this account listed out your accounts, I tell my clients that all the time.
Right.
It's very important, even if you have it in the trust or you don't have it in the trust. Make sure it's listed where your loved ones know So they know that they can just go and present the death certificate, and now they can have access to those funds.
Because they're already grieving.
Yes,
they're already.
It's the worst of times, you know, and we don't need that added. If we can help out our family, our individuals that are experiencing those things, we want to make sure that we can do that.
Yeah. I think this is some really great stuff because estate planning isn't just for the wealthy.
It's for everyone. If you have $1,
you have an estate. Yeah. And you want to be able to, it gives you the ability to, I say, hold something over people's heads. No.
I have an estate.
Write you out my trust.
Exactly. Keep playing.
Right. That's why I say I'm gonna tell my granddaughter, my grandchildren. I'm gonna say, you know, you're in my trust, right?
You're heir.
You know, my grandson, because so he can say, "What is a trust?" Oh, I'm so glad you asked.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is wonderful. I think the way that we're breaking it down in bite-sized pieces is helpful.
It is.
And I know it's helping me because first thing I plan to do is as now that the summer is coming to a close, I plan to, as we get ready for our reviews, we're going to go through how this big bill is changing the way we do planning and whether or not we should shift our focus. And I think we're going to have to.
And I think that we all, it's an evaluation period time, and we want to make sure that we are taking advantage of the things and then govern ourselves accordingly to the things that are changing that may not be good, but we are adjusting to it to make sure that we are prepared.
Yeah. I want to be prepared.
Yes.
I want to be prepared. I want you to be prepared.
Yes.
I want everyone who's watching the show to be prepared.
You're right.
Because I want them to say, you know what? I was watching this podcast called Trust Issues, and they told me that while I'm building the empire, I need to give me some counselors, some advisors to teach me how to protect.
Yes. And they called us.
Yes. All right. So we're going to put some information in the description.
Yes.
Make sure that you get it. You contact us and let us know on your level how we can help you get prepared.
Okay. Well, this is Attorney Urenia Ricks and
Erica Hall, and you have been watching another edition of Trust Issues.